Welcome to the Rewards Master Live. This is our live extra that we often have on Friday nights, and we're back at a normal time tonight. So it's 6 p.m. Friday night, and we've already got a few folks who have logged in here. Let's see who all we have. All right, we have, wow, a brand new channel member right here at the beginning, Sultan NX4IZ. Sultan, good to have you as a channel member. Hope you enjoy the channel member only videos that are available. There's quite a few of them now. I put out at least one a week. So I hope that's beneficial to you and that you enjoy them. All right, we got Juan Garcia. Hey, Juan, good to see you. It says, good evening, Bob. Good evening to you. Travel Fan 11, another channel member, along with Juan and, of course, Sultan, who became a channel member tonight, says, good evening, RM. Good to see you, Travel Fan. Great to have you here. Dim, hey Dim, how are you doing? Says good evening. Mike Newland, a great friend of the channel and a channel member and a spreadsheet warrior, actually. Great to have you here, Mike. Thank you so much for being here. And channel member Jimmy Duff says, hey Bob. Hey, how are you doing, Jimmy? Good to have you with us tonight. Let's see. Well, it's not really telling me how many are in here right now, but that's all right. It just says one waiting, so I guess it's catching up on all of that. All right, so let's just tonight, as I often do, I dive into different recent comments. So somebody, I don't know if you make comments and you want to tune into these on Friday nights, see if your comments make the show. A lot of them are pretty good comments. I try to include the ones that are both complimentary and also ones that ask questions that we can answer together, and also the different comments that critique what I have to say, because what I have to say are often hot takes and often things that people don't agree with. In fact, one of my next videos coming out, I've already scripted, getting ready to film, is going to be unpopular opinions that Bob has. So that'll be coming up soon. All right. So Happy Tom, another great channel member, is here. Good evening, all. Hey, Happy Tom. Good to have you with us. Jay Carlos says, good evening. Another channel member. Good to have you here. Maldonado Jax, channel member, says, hello, everyone. Hello to you, Maldonado. Good to have you here. Rob Knopper Studio says, hello. Hey, Rob. Good to have you with us tonight. Deb says hello to Mike. And Mike Newland comes through with the 10 gifted Rewards Master memberships. That is absolutely awesome, Mike. You are so great about being supportive, and I know that many people will benefit from that. So if you receive one of Mike's gifted memberships, make sure to say thank you in the comments below. I know that that'll be a great expression of gratitude, and I am certainly grateful, Mike. I appreciate it very much. Dem says hello to Carlos. Mike says hello to Dem. Dem for you. All right. PMart Supermart channel member says, from 1 to 10, how vindicated do you feel that Citi is becoming the top ecosystem? Well, nobody acknowledges this, but I mean, I try not to be overly about this, but I was Citi when Citi wasn't cool. And I've said that before, but you remember, if you watch my channel for a while, about a year ago, I mean, right when I was hitting the 1,000 point of monetization, nobody loved Citi. And when that new Citi Elite card came out, everybody thought it was terrible except Bob. I mean, there might have been some others. I don't want to overgeneralize, but man, I do. I feel like it. And I think that's going to be true with Bilt too. I've been pretty consistent from the beginning. I did get irritated, and I did one video early on with Bilt's Bilt Cash when it first came out. But since that point, and even before that, it's amazing. So I think that that's going to be true with them as well. But yeah, I feel pretty vindicated. How's a 9? I think a 10 might be a little bit overly arrogant, so I don't want to be that way. But how about a 9, PMart? We'll say that. Thank you for being a channel member too. Dam says fire. Yep. A tier 50 channel member says, hey everyone, I'm in New York, living it up at the Intercontinental. Very nice. Love the points and miles game. That you're in the right place then, because we all love this game. Juan Garcia says, hello to Mike. All right. Let's, I guess I can add to the stage the first one of these. And this is from my recent video. And like I said, if you have any comments about any of these, I'd love to read them. So make sure you put them on there. There are 41 people in here already. And let's see if anybody's hit the like button. Yeah, 8 people have hit the like button. That's not many out of 41. So if you would hit the like button, you want to hit the subscribe. If you're not a subscriber, that really helps my channel. I'm bumping up toward 3,000 subscribers, and that is going to be an awesome milestone. So I'm looking forward to that. And if you want to leave a super chat, super sticker, gift of membership, anything like that helps as well. And it's greatly, greatly appreciated. All right, this is on a video I put out yesterday, and it was for fun, but boy, oh boy, did people have reactions to it. It didn't do very well. Not many people have watched it, but I had fun making it, so I don't care. It was the premium card built for regular Americans. As y'all know, I live in Mississippi. I live on a farm. I live outside and work in a community that's not a tiny town, but it's not a big community. It's on well under 100,000 people. And so I'm often very frustrated that, if I wanted to use, any kind of dining credit with the Chase program, man, I'd have to drive 200 miles to find one of those restaurants. There is a Resi restaurant in my town. There's one, but I like it. So that one works out okay for me. But there's all sorts of things. Equinox gym, get real. There, you'd have to fly to go to the gym from where I live after driving an hour and a half to get to the airport. I mean, there's no Equinox anywhere near. So what I did is I thought, what would it be like if they made a credit card that wasn't just for people who lived in big cities? If they made a premium credit card for just everybody in America. And I don't want to say just people who don't live in big cities, because I think the card I created would be good for people in big cities. So what it was is it was a $5.95 fee, had priority pass, all of that. But my multipliers were 4X dining, 2X on your choice, Walmart, Target, or kind of big box stores, wholesale clubs. I thought that was ingenious, 1X on everything else. And then it had some credits. It had a dining credit for Darden restaurants, which I thought was kind of creative, because Darden restaurants, if you don't know, that's Olive Garden, Longhorn Steakhouse, that's Red Lobster, that's Chewy's Mexican, that a whole bunch of them, including Roost Chris. So you could go somewhere cheap or you could go somewhere expensive. So I had some stuff like that. I had an airline incidental credit, stuff like that. So that's what I created. If you haven't seen that video and want to go back and watch it, that would help it get views, because let me tell you, it ain't got very many views. But there were several comments. It did stir some conversation. So Hybrid Vortex said, sounds nice, but they always market to cities. But maybe one day they'll listen to this video and make it happen. Yeah, they always market to cities. And I think there's 2 possible reasons. Number one, I think it's possible that they market to cities because they think that's where the money is. I could tell you, living out, and, I've lived in big cities before, and I've, because we've lived several places in our working career, and I've lived in smaller communities, and there is not, in my experience, a substantial difference between wealth and income between big cities and smaller communities. That's not, I don't see that. I mean, in the community where I live, there's a lot of people who are very well off. In fact, there's more people, like, for instance, young people where I live own a house. Young people in New York City do not own a house, and they won't till they're 40 or something like that, or 45, a lot of them. And it's an overgeneralization, but you get the point. But you can own a house here at 26, 25, 24. And, so there's maybe income is less, but net worth is probably more. So I find it interesting that they think that the money is all in the cities. That's one thing. But I think it's possible that that's their logic. I think the other possibility is that the people who design these cards live in big cities. So they just don't know what America is. Like, for instance, they think, why would anybody go to Walmart? Well, 41% of Americans buy their groceries at Walmart and Target. 41%. Last time I looked it up. So yeah, that I'm thinking, why would they not market it to everybody? Because guess what? There are Targets in big cities. There are Costco's in big cities. I mean, some of that stuff could apply there as well. And there are Walmarts there too. Okay, let me go back to comments, see if we've got any more. We do have 53 watching already just in the first 10 minutes. That's awesome. 18 people have hit the like button. Please do that if you haven't. All right. Dem says the community is truly grateful to Mike and everything he does for the creator. It doesn't go unnoticed. And I want to echo that with from the bottom of my heart that Mike is a great supporter of so many of us, and we're so grateful. Rob Knopper Studios, question for you. Now that everything you put on Bilt earns somewhere between 2 to 4x, and then it can double with a good transfer bonus, are you ever using anything else for non-category spend? Very simply, no, except for when I'm doing a sign-up bonus. I mean, we're working on a sign-up right now for a platinum card. So yes, I put some stuff, bills and stuff on it today, but it hurts because it's like, man, I'm listening out on a lot, but I am getting the sign-up bonus. So yeah, apart from sign-up bonuses, the answer is no, because I can't see a reason to ever do that. Like for instance, I like the Alaska Summit card, and I know some of y'all have that, and I think it's a great card. Let me be clear. I think it's a great card, but it'll earn me less than my Bilt card, which doesn't have foreign transaction fees either. So I'm gonna, and Bilt gives me even more options for transfers. So yeah, I'm probably, if I do get the Summit card, it'll just be for a sign up, because now I know there's the 25,000 cert and you could spend to get the 100K cert. I realize it's got some good things. I'm not downing on the card at all. I'm just saying Bilt has made so many cards irrelevant. It has made all 2X categories irrelevant, and it's pretty much made all 3X categories irrelevant, at least to me, unless you're just earning a sign-up bonus. So that's my question. That's my answer to the question, Rob. Okay, background balloon says fire. Good to have you here. Isaac Musqueda says driving home and listening. Good to have you here, Isaac. Thank you for tuning in. Background balloon. I feel like pre-AA City and Capital One get a lot of unnecessary, yeah, just because they don't have the most popular transfer partners doesn't mean they're that way. Feel like calling a Civic garbage because it isn't a Porsche. Yeah, I mean, they had something. You know what a Civic has that a Porsche doesn't? A Civic has longevity. It's going to run and run and run until, I know this because I have an Acura that's basically a city clone, and I ran the thing over 200,000 miles, ran it out of transmission fluid because I didn't know one of my lines had busted. And I thought, oh man, I'm just going to scrap the car because, I mean, it's not going to, you mean, you don't, when you got over 200,000 miles on a car, you don't mess with the transmission. I mean, generally. Well, filled it up with transmission fluid and put a new line on it, $100, and it's been running for 30,000 miles. Perfect. Shifting perfect. And it's basically a Civic. So, I mean, that a Porsche is more fun to drive. A Porsche, all of that. But a Civic, longevity, cost. I mean, there's just so many. It's like comparing apples to oranges. You're absolutely right. And the thing that Citibank had that the others didn't is Citibank had earning. It was an earner. So people can talk about, now, like I said, Bilt's kind of made all the 3X categories irrelevant. But I mean, before Bilt came out with that Palladium card, it was, I mean, it was City all the way because you got so many 3X categories. So you're right. You're right about that, background balloon. Nurcan. Hey, Nurcan, good to have you here. How's it going with everybody? Going good. Juan Garcia, Bop, we did a panel discussion on City. Yeah, I saw, let me see, who had that? I remind me, but I saw some of that the other night. All right, Juan Garcia, Payne. Matt Clausen. Hey, Matt. Matt's got a great YouTube channel. He is the news guy. He knows when it's happening. So check out Matt's channel. Juan Garcia, panel discussion on City on Joe Barretto. That's where it was on Tuesday. Yeah, I remember seeing that. Background balloon. Curious, but how was the experience moving between big cities and small cities? As far as, I mean, there's so many different experiences, but Everything's cheaper, a lot cheaper. I mean, where I live, gas is like $2.50 a gallon, you know, and where we used to live is like $4 a gallon. That's a lot cheaper. And I don't find that incomes are that much lower. Sometimes a little, but not much. And so if you're in a professional field, you know, in fact, some of my friends that are medical doctors, they wouldn't ever want to live in California because they make as much or more money in Mississippi as they would in California. And they can buy a house, a really nice house, for a quarter of the price. I mean, so there's that. But when it comes to credit cards, it is frustrating because you got to, if you live out in a more rural environment, you've got to work at it harder because a lot of it's just so geared towards big city life, which I love big cities. I mean, Nona and I, we love it when we go and visit those places, and we've lived in two major metropolitan areas and we liked it. So it's not that we have any prejudice against it. We would live there again. It's just that it's weird that there's almost an unspoken, those hicks wouldn't know what to do with. I mean, man, that's a misunderstanding of the rest of America, at least in my estimation. I hope that answers your question. Texas Dog, howdy. I discovered your wife's travel channel and I subscribed. I enjoy the video about the Cosmo in Vegas. Yeah, if you haven't, getting ready to put out one about the Crockfords. We stayed at Crockfords too. So if you haven't checked that out, it's Away Again Travels. I mean, you can find it easy. It's Away Again Travels with Nona and Bop, her and me. So check that out. And thank you, Texas Dog. Appreciate you for subscribing to that. That'll excite her. Damn, you can use the Equinox credit through the app for classes and paid services. Yeah. The only problem is I mean, I have access to that with my local gym. So it'd just be something to do it, you know? So that's true though. I know you can. Rob Knopper, I was comparing putting spend on a sign-up bonus compared to Bilt. Yeah. The sign-up bonus still wins most of the time because, you know, if you have to spend 8,000 on a sign-up bonus, then you're going to get probably at least 80,000 back. Well, that's a way better return than 8 and 8, 16, 24. Even if you got 30,000 points with Bilt, well, it's 80,000 versus 30,000. So Big Kurt gives a $2 super sticker super chat. Thank you, Big Kurt. That helps the channel a lot. I appreciate it so much. Stacy, Travel and Points. Stacy, how's your channel going? She's another creator in the space, so make sure to check her out. Hello, have 2 weeks of backlog videos to listen to. Yeah, I know. I get backed up too sometimes. Rob Knopper, 20K toward Amex Business Platinum means you lose maybe 120 Atmos. Yeah, that's possible. But what are you getting for that 20K? 200,000, 250,000? Yeah. Texas Dog, did I miss another Mike Newland gifted membership? Yep, Mike gifted 10 a little bit earlier in the episode. Dem, also, you have status through AA, so the summit may not make much sense for you. That's true. For me, it doesn't make a lot of sense. Stacy, Texas Dog, I always miss them too. Yeah. Well, Mike, a couple of them missed them and they're sad. So, but thank you for gifting those. We appreciate it. Texas Dog gives a laugh. Rob Knopper, I was comparing putting 20K of spend towards the Amex Business Plat versus Bilt. 20K towards the Amex Business means you lose maybe 120 Atmos, JAL, or Hyatt points. 20K times 3X, 100% bonus equals 120K. Yeah, that's true. But I'm saying that if you put it on the business plat, oftentimes you're getting north of 200,000 for that 20K in Amex membership reward points. So that's what you got to weigh out. But yeah, it's kind of crazy that we have a card out there now that can compete, not quite as good, but can compete with how many points you're earning. I mean, with sign-up bonuses. That is just, it is, the Bilt card's crazy. I mean, hopefully it's going to last. Doesn't Bilt cardless exclude certain types of spend from points? Yes. I know they exclude taxes from it, which is a big ability to get sign-up bonuses. So that's a good reason for me to still keep getting sign-up bonuses. LG 1914 says, hello, everybody. LG, good to have you here. Ripa says, I was going to go all out on Bilt, but I just can't stop doing subs. I understand. That's why I'm going to try to do both. Matt Clausen, speaking of news, I'm back under embargo. Okay. Under embargo. Explain that to us a little bit, Matt. I must have missed it. Isaac says, I want to get Bilt Palladium, but don't have mortgage or rent. Could I pay my mom's mortgage with it? That might be a Matt might know the answer to that. I've never tried, but I've heard reports that can be done. I've heard reports that it can be done. So you have to see. Dim, yes, Isaac. Yes, you can. Dim says, well, that Dim knows. So that'd be the answer. Dim, family and friends or anyone's rent or mortgage. Jimmy Duff, Bop, I agree. Bilt is a Porsche. It is. It is. Let's just see if it doesn't break down and costly repairs. That's the question. Isaac says, thanks, Dim. We'll need to figure out how to do that if I get approved for the card. It's really, there's several options on there. You can push it from Bilt. You can have them send a paper check, or I think you can pull it from your bank. That part didn't work for me, but the other two went through on my test cases. So Rob says, sorry, I tried to delete my 2 comments, put them together, but instead all 3 got posted. That's fine. No problem. Background, thanks for answering. I grew up living in the Bay Area right now. Just don't think living in enormous cities is a long-term thing for me. Well, I'm telling you, life is slower other places, but it's really, it's a little more boring sometimes, but depending on what you enjoy. Joe NY Law. Hey, Joe, good to have you here. Channel member says, hello, Bop. Just joining now. Good to have you here. And Matt Clausen, I have news. Can't release yet per the company. Oh, okay. I know you'll let us know when you can. RC, my oldest channel member of all, is here and says, howdy. Good to have you, RC. Ryan Morrison says, hi, everybody. Love this channel. Well, we appreciate you, Ryan, for being here. And K-State Nate says hello. All right, that catches me up on comments. I do want to do a quick commercial break just for a second, where I want to talk about my channel memberships. Thank you so much for Mike gifting the channel memberships. So several of you will be coming on as new channel members. So I have 2 channel memberships. One is RM Insiders. I do videos just for channel members at least every week, sometimes more, but at least one a week. And they're just kind of my thoughts and sometimes strategies, sometimes things I don't want just out in the public because I don't want, I don't think probably anybody important watches the Rewards Master, but if they do, I sure wouldn't want them to shut things down that we figure out. But the other one, that's $2.99. It can be canceled anytime. But the membership above that is brand new, and it's called Spreadsheet Warriors, and it's $19.99 a month. And it gives you everything that's available with RM Insiders, plus at least once a month. And last month we had 2. I'm planning to have 2 this month. We have a 40-minute Zoom session live with the Spreadsheet Warriors where we can actually talk face-to-face live. And that one's actually scheduled for tomorrow night at the same time at 6 o'clock, one of the ones for this month. So there's still time to join if you'd like to get in on that tomorrow. It's kind of nice because we've never had more than 4 of us on there. I think I have 5 Spreadsheet Warriors right now. But we everybody gets to talk, everybody gets to converse, and if you have, it's different than this because if you have questions and maybe I answer or somebody else answers, then you can clarify. Say, well, what do you mean? You mean like in this situation or in this situation? So it's an actual conversation back and forth. So if you're interested in that, please feel free to join. If you're an RM Insider, you can upgrade to that, or you can join either channel membership. So just wanted to tell y'all about that. All right, let me go on to the next slide, and then I'll come back to comments in just a minute. Okay, this is also on that invented fictional premium card I made. And travel blogger Buzz says, you must have smoked some really good stuff. And I thought that was a funny comment because no, I didn't. I don't smoke, never have anything. But I can say that I see what he's trying to get at. In other words, they ain't ever going to give us a card that's that useful. And I do think that and we haven't talked yet, and I've already scripted a video on this new Robinhood Platinum card. And it is just evidence of this. I mean, that Platinum card that you talk about tough, I don't know if it's worse or some of the United cards are worse on what has the most difficult credits to get your money back from. But it is just exactly what they're trying to do. They're on their side of the chessboard, because that's what this is. This game is a chessboard. You're trying to win and getting points and miles, not going into debt, all of that. And the banks are trying to win to get people to pay interest and not have breakage and not use their credits and all that. And I think that Platinum card from Robinhood is just the perfect example of it. So yeah, I get what Travel Blogger Buzz was saying when he said that. In other words, yeah, nice way to dream. Nice way to dream. All right, Background Balloon says, the only thing I miss about huge cities are concerts, but with points and miles, it makes going to those concerts I want to see doable. Yeah, I mean, we sometimes drive to Memphis or Birmingham or somewhere to see concerts or to see Nona loves Broadway shows, so we do have those things within a reasonable drive. So, Background Balloon, imagine a Chase or Amex executive watching this stream sweating because they joined the RM memberships. Well, I don't know. I guess I would love to have them, but I doubt that they're doing that. I'm small potatoes to them, so that's fine. All right, Dem, Isaac, hop into the Anthony Venture Discord Bilt channel and we'll help you out. Yeah, Anthony has a fantastic Discord. Random Exports says, I'll help you out. Nuracan, I just saw in the Bilt app that they added a concierge tab. Has anyone tried that? I have not. I've never used a concierge for anything except at a hotel, and that was to help get show tickets and stuff. So anybody has any comments on that, that'd be helpful. Dim says yes. Basically, Chat GPT for anything Bilt. Okay. I guess if you don't want to use Chat GPT. Dim says kind of clunky for now. Well, is that surprising? I mean, no, it's not. Points Dexter, good evening. Good to have you here, Dexter. Channel member. Nuracan, cool. Thanks, Dem. I'll mess with it. Ripa, why would anyone give up a 3x catch-all for a 5x food card? Okay, what do you, yeah, oh, you're talking about the Robinhood. Well, I don't understand why anybody would want cash back, but that's just me. I don't do cash back. So, but still, yeah, it's just a 5x food card. Unless you go through their portal, I ain't doing that. So yeah, it's not a good card. Background Balloon. The credit card game is basically just the banks and customers competing on who can cheat more money out of the other. Well, cheat's probably a strong word because they set the rules, and there is a way to win under that rule set. There is a way to win under that rule set. Unfortunately, well, fortunately for all of us, a lot of people don't win. Unfortunate for them. Isaac says, I'm fairly new to the game and can see that card isn't good. Should tell you everything you need to know. Yep. I mean, it doesn't, you don't have to be deep into the points and mouse game to realize that. Texas Dog, I visited your part of the country a couple of times per year. I have family in Birmingham and Gadsden. That's a nice part of Alabama over there. Sure is. Random Esports, Robinhood card is for Robinhood zealots. Yep, and they have them. I mean, everything does. You know, the Chase fanboys, the Amex fanboys. I mean, everybody's got their fanboys. And so I'm sure Robinhood does too. All right, we got 55 watching. That's awesome. Let's go to the next comment. This is also on that same video. KS83 says 80% of Americans live. Now, this is kind of a contrary. In other words, they're pushing back a little bit, and that's okay. I welcome that. Push back. I mean, I'm often wrong. Ask Nona. Often wrong. So 80% of Americans live in areas considered urban. And with that number rising each generation, I can't imagine a bank moving away from catering to its customers now and in the future. They said it will also say 80% of Americans probably don't need a premium credit card at all. Well, that second part I could say amen to. That's absolutely true. And do 80% of Americans live in an urban environment? I don't know. I mean, maybe we could Google that or ask Chat GPT. I'm going to ask it right now. So, what percentage of Americans live? How about live in communities over 100,000 people? What do you think? Let's see what it says. Okay. Approximately 30% of Americans live in incorporated cities with a population of 100,000 or more, but a vast majority of U.S. population are classified as urban or metropolitan, and then includes suburban residents and those in smaller towns that are part of a larger city's economic orbit. Well, yeah, but the economic orbit of a large city can stretch out an hour and 20 or an hour and 30 minutes from there. So I don't know. I guess it just depends on how you see it. I guess it depends on how you see it. All right, let's go back and Texas Dog. I visit your part of the country. We saw that one already. Random says Robinhood card is for Robinhood zealots. Yep. All right, just a couple more comments. K-State Nate, good to have you here, Nate. My first reaction to the Robinhood Platinum was that it was a worse City Prestige with a bunch of coupons, but I'm only sort of familiar with the Prestige. It is not the City Prestige. The reason I say that is the City Prestige gives 5x on dining, and they're transferable city points. The City Prestige gives 5x on airfare directly with the airlines of, again, transferable city points. The City Prestige gives 3x on hotels, and it gives 3x on cruises. And the City Prestige gives a priority pass that has restaurant access and 2 guests. And the City Prestige gives 2, as far as I know, uncapped 4th night free certificates with hotels. So you could use that for a $200 a night hotel or a $1,200 or $2,000 a night hotel. So yeah, it is not, in my opinion, and I have the Prestige and have for years. And Dim, I know, is in here. He has the Prestige, but no, it's not the same card, at least in my estimation. But I could see, because of that 5x dining, how somebody would think that. But no, it's different. Texas Dog, 200K is better. Dem, K-State, the Prestige is a great card. Some of us still have it. Yep, me and Dem and a few others. Background Balloon. My guess would be that most of the spending, regardless of income and net worth, happens with merchants that are in large urban areas. I suppose so, but I don't know. I would be curious to see what kind of spending goes on at, I mean, when you got a town of, say, 40,000 people and the only place to shop is Walmart, how much of that spend goes through that Walmart store? I don't know. I mean, I've been in a Tractor Supply that I had to wait 20 minutes in line before. So I don't know. Dem, RM, the 4th night benefit was nerfed a few years ago, 2 times per year. Yeah, it's 2 times per year, but I was meaning I don't think it's capped as far as how much the hotel costs. Tell me if I'm wrong, Dem. But yeah, I knew about the 2 times per year. Stinky Monkey Baby made it. Happy Friday. Good to have you here, Stinky Monkey Baby. Still the best name on YouTube, without a doubt. All right, so let's go to the next one. We still have 57 watching. That's great. This is also on that made-up card that I did. Jazz Fan 27 says, okay, I'll give you mine. So I thought this was cool because Jazz Fan made up a card too. So this is Jazz Fan's card. This is the Jazz Fan Platinum card, okay? $395 annual fee. Okay, going a little lower there. That's good. $600 airline incidental credit, $150 per quarter. Now, I think this is creative. 5% on hotel purchases, no portal. In other words, direct. 1% everything else. So that's the only multiplier. 5% on hotels. No lounge access. But you got the $600 incidental credit. So what he's saying is you can just buy your lounge passes up to $150 every quarter. That's it. Pretty simple, he says. I could pay cash for hotels and get 5x, 5%. I can stack with Rove or hotel status. Then I can use the 600 to make my airport experience better. I think that's a creative, cool card. So I give a round of applause to Jazz Fan for the Jazz Fan Platinum card that he came up with. So I think that is pretty cool. Tell me what you think. Okay, let's see. Where did we end? Stinky Monkey Baby, I know, joined in. And then Random Esports says, so if you have a wedding and the caterer is dining, Robinhood card would make sense if the bill is $15K. Well, you are going to get 5X. Yeah. But, I mean, I would not rather have 5X than the 3.5 or whatever I'm going to get on the Bilt Palladium card that costs less than that. I mean, I just can't see a use of that card for me. I mean, I just like, I mean, but I have the City Prestige. It's 5X on dining. So, but still, I just looked at the whole thing and the self-driving car credit. I mean, like I said, I don't live in a big city. We do go to cities. I've seen those before, but I remember when we were in Vegas and we asked about them, the concierge at the hotel said, well, it takes a long time to book one. There aren't very many in Vegas. So, I mean, what weird, dumb credits. I mean, I think so, at least. Damn, uncapped. Have used it at hotels that are $1,500 a night. That's pretty sweet. That's what I was saying. Background balloon, not saying that spending in smaller cities are low, but relatively speaking, the spending in urban areas is so overwhelmingly large that banks think it's just worth mainly focusing over there. Yeah, probably so. I can see that for sure. All right. Coming to a different video here. This is an old one, but I got a new comment on it. So this was, is the Chase Sapphire Preferred still worth it in 2025? My honest review. And if you watch my channel, you know I am not a fan of the Chase Sapphire Reserve Preferred card or the Reserve, but the Preferred especially. I think it is just really, really underwhelming and loses to all of its competitors, including the no annual fee autograph card. But Ofles, I guess that's how you say that, says, I keep it for the primary car rental insurance coverage with administrative loss of use covered. They charge $40 to $50 a day for full coverage at the airport, and CSP covers everything for me with one annual fee. Plus, I have the Chase Freedom Flex, so I transfer my points out to partners via the CSP. All right. I guess the point is that it does have some, that is the thing I still use it for, is for car rentals. I could use the Venture X because it also has primary CDW. But yes, it does have some good travel protections for what it is. So I think that has to be acknowledged, to be fair. My problem with the card is that it's antiquated and its earnings are bad compared to its competitors. It's just getting old and it needs to be revamped. All right, let's go back. Stinky Monkey Baby says, can't wait to hear about your upcoming Asia trip redemptions and travel vlog. Yeah, we're excited. We're going to go to Hong Kong, Taipei, quick stopover in China, and maybe Korea. So we got several places we're going to go. We're looking forward to it. It'll be in the fall. We got in the spring, though, we got some Europe stuff coming up. So we'll have some stuff on that too. Texas Dog, I agree. Small town and large urban makes no difference. It's all about choosing right location. Top of the River restaurant is packed every night in a small town in Gadsden, Alabama. It is. It is. People can afford to eat out in smaller communities. I mean, they can. So a dining card makes sense everywhere. Ripa, I used Wooks in Vegas. It was weird. I imagine it was. We tried to. Didn't work, though. Is that the one that's run by Amazon? Because that's the one we tried to use, the one run by Amazon. What is Wooks? That's what Texas Dog is asking. Ripka, a self-driving taxi service. Random Esports. I live in a small town, a lot of fun, but most of my life I'm in a big city. 1 million. You really have a ton of people using debit cards in a small town. Yeah, but maybe that's because the credit card companies don't market to them. Maybe that's the reason. I agree. A lot of people use, I mean, one of my best buddies, every time we go out to eat, he pulls out the Quicksilver. I mean, every time. And I'm like, okay. But but a lot of other people, debit cards. So yeah, I mean, a lot of Dave Ramsey aficionados, I guess, in these small towns. So Isaac says, have you been to Hawaii? And if so, any tips on flight redemptions? Yes, I've been to Hawaii. I've been to Maui. I've been to Oahu. As far as flight redemptions go, we stayed in Oahu back when Hyatt was pretty good. There's a Hyatt Place that's pretty nice in Waikiki Beach. It was a good redemption, but that'll be different now, obviously. As far as flights go, I think we flew on United, and we just flew in economy, but I was able to pick the 2 seats. They have one row that has 2 seats together in economy, so it's just us two. It was comfortable. It's not that long a flight. But no, we haven't gone in the last few years when I've been heavier in the points and miles world. So background balloon facts. The Chase Sapphire Preferred is overrated in my opinion. If you need primary CDW, I would rather pay for Amex's primary coverage when I need it rather than the $95 annual fee if I need it. Good point. Background balloon says, REM, seems like you have a lot of referral opportunities. Yeah, I mean, I guess so. I don't know. I try to not be pushy when it comes to being points and miles guy, because my friends in my real life, they if they have an interest and they know we travel and they know we go places and they know we do it in style for cheap, but even when they ask about it, when I tell them it involves opening cards with high annual fees and stuff, I mean, they kind of get that glossy look in their eye, and I shut down the conversation because I'm just not gonna push too hard. Now there have been a few that it's like, they seem a lot really interested, so I keep going until the interest wanes. That's kind of how it is. But you all know, your points and miles people, when we start talking to the regular people out there, some of them think we crazy. They think we're nuts, right? So you got to be a little bit careful about it. Basemo says, really want to enter the city environment, but I have no relationship. How rigid is the 606 rule? City is tough to get in. If you really want in, I think the safest thing to do is the 6 months. But I don't know if I would do that if I was just getting in. I mean, we got them early on and we put a lot of money through those cards, so they like us, but it seems like, I mean, nobody can tell you for sure. I don't know for sure, but it seems like the people who wait longer are more successful. Nikolai, how are you liking the Bilt card so far? I am loving it. It's my favorite card I've ever had as of today. Now that could change if they mess me over or something, but I'm loving it. It is just the maths. I mean, there is just no denying. It is like a scientific fact that the Bilt card will earn you more points than anything else. It just is. It's awesome. Isaac says, I'm looking to book Andaz Maui before the devaluation. That is a good plan. That is a good plan. Stacy says, Thrifty Traveler just put out an email that said you can find Hawaii from the P&W for $40K for business class, one way per person. Wow, $40K business class to Hawaii. Is that on Hawaiian Airlines? Ripa, I've been locked out of Chase for years. Finally entered 524 and Hyatt devalues. Yeah, that's just our luck, isn't it? Just our luck. Damn, my friends think I'm a madman for mid-maxing the way I do. Let them pay 5 to 10K for the flight I'm paying 60,000 miles for. To each their own. Yeah, I mean, you can only talk to, I mean, you're trying to be helpful, but, you can only talk to them so much. PMart, Supermart, channel member, good to have you here. Says, RM, if I have a relationship with Citi, do you recommend 0 to 6 or would 3 months do? Salivating for the AA executive. I got to say, I don't know. I mean, I've not been in that situation for so long. What I'm hearing is the 0-6 is the safer route. But I know of people who got a card last month and apply and get it. There's no rhyme or reason. But yeah, I can't give you more advice than that. If you want to be absolutely sure, or well, there's no absolutely even after 6 months, but it's a better bet. So you just got to determine what your priorities are. Background balloon. I got the CCC approved without any prior relationship at 5 or 624. And that was after getting denied for a year and a half earlier at 024. Yeah, see, no rhyme or reason. So what you might do is you might try for one of their less desirable cards and then try to upgrade that card or something. You know, maybe the AT&T card or something. I don't know. Or maybe a custom cash. Base mode. Does Citi allow transfer to authorized users' accounts like Chase? Just got burned on Capital One not allowing Player 2 venture points to be transferred to my Player 1 JAL. I don't know the answer to that. Somebody in here probably will, but I do know you can move points, pool your points together. So you could move your points from your Player 2 to your account, but they hard expire in 90 days. They hard expire in 90 days. So you've got to make sure that you've got a use for them and you transfer them out within that 90 days. Stacy says, Alaska. Sorry, I thought I'd added that part. No problem. Background balloon. Citi approvals are really 50-50. Yep, they are. I mean, you just can't. It's hard to judge what they're going to be. Hard to judge. All right, we still got 69 in here. That is awesome. There's 34 that have hit the like button. If you haven't hit the like button, please do that. If you haven't subscribed, of course, do that. If you'd like to give a super chat, super sticker, however small, that still helps us with the algorithm. So always appreciated. All right, next comment on here was on one of my previous lives, live number 37, where I talked about lounge access for different types of travelers. And Mark Sartain said, oh boy, we missed the Bank of America Elite card again. Priority pass for 4 people, National and Avis top tier, travel and lifestyle credits, premium elite multiplier. Yes, I know it got nerfed some. And, you know, Mark, that's a good point. And you probably, here's the thing. I just don't remember cashback cards when I'm making any of my lists. I don't do it on purpose. I'm not like, I'm not going to include that card. No, I don't do that. But I just don't, they're not in my radar at all. So I just don't think about them. And that's just a fact. All right. EMT 8379. Good to have you, EMT. I have over the years gathered all the AA cards except for the new Globe card. I tried to convert the no annual fee one to a Strata card, and Citi said no a month ago. I called and had the option, not now. Yeah, I mean, they changed that too. I mean, people used to say, well, Citi let you move, you know, product change any card to any card. And then they didn't. And then they did. And then they didn't. And they will again. It's Citi. Let me tell you, if you're going to be in the Citi ecosystem, and Dim will know this as well as I will, Citi is just Citi. I mean, they might change their mind tomorrow, but they also might forget about you and just let something like the Prestige card just go on forever. So it's got its benefits and it's got its downsides. But, you know, with Citi, it's kind of like the weather here in the South. If you don't like it, wait, and it might change. It probably will. It's kind of how Citi operates, it seems like. So Happy Tom says you can pull Cap 1 points if you're added as an authorized user. Yep, I know that to be true as well. Okay, let's go to another one. This was on my hotel credit card tier list. And this is where I was talking about the hotel credits. So which ones, counting both the money back credits and the free night certs. And I ranked them all. And I only had one S tier card, and that was the Aspire card. But I had several that were in the A tier, whole bunch of B tier cards. You can go back and watch that video. But YouTube video watcher said, I agree with the ratings, but I don't see the 2-night minimum as a hindrance if you travel. I did ding a few of them for 2-night minimums, particularly the one that I think is just so egregious is the CSR, because when you're restricted to high-end hotels that cost a lot, and then there's a 2-night minimum, it's way worse. It's way worse than like the elite card that has a 2-night minimum, $300, but you can stay at a $150 hotel. With the edit credit, you can't stay at a $150 hotel. You're going to be staying at a $400 or $500 or $600 hotel, and you have to do 2 nights, and you're getting a $250 credit. So that's where I think it's really, really a problem. Let's see. EMT says, I have the Strata Premier card. My goal was to upgrade that to the Elite. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I think the Elite card is fantastic. I mean, it's a 1.5x catch-all, and the 6x City Nights thing is pretty cool. In fact, we should, maybe when we're done with this live stream, everybody should go get some City Nights. So, all right. Dim says, City cards have been an afterthought for City for a while. Lots of changes coming over the next year. I hope they're good ones. I hope they are. All right, we got about 10 minutes left. Let's see what we got here. This is also on the hotel credit tier list. And this is from YouTube Watcher also. The new Robinhood Platinum card is giving a $500 hotel credit. Yeah, and it's terrible. It's awful. I mean, if you looked at that, it's like the hotel credit is you get $250 twice a year, but you got to use their expensive hotels. If you use their cheap ones, it's only $100. It's only $100. I mean, that's just not cool. It not quite false advertising, but it's not cool. Not cool at all. Let's see how many. 70. That's the highest number I've seen when I looked at it. 70 are in here. That's awesome. And I think that 40 have hit the like button. Hit the like button if you hadn't. Appreciate it very much. Okay. This one come from Ripa. Ripa, I don't know if you're still in here, but here's your comment. CSR is so hard to use. I haven't really been able to use it. I've tried. Total C tier. Yeah. I mean, CSR is better than this Robinhood Platinum card. It's better. But I honestly, if I had to rank the top cards, I would put the Elite card for sure from Citibank higher than the CSR. And I think I'd put the Capital One Venture X higher than the CSR. I just think that although it has that great travel credit on it, that's great. Although it has, it does have, I would use that StubHub credit. I live in the South where everybody goes to football games. So I'd use that. It has some okay credits, but it's just the way that they're dining. Why don't they open it up to all, open table restaurants? Man, that would be good. There's even those in my community. Why don't they open it up to all of them? But they don't. There's a very limited amount. And then the edit credit, I mean, just the way that's broken down, and you got to stay in those high-end hotels. I mean, at least FHR, you got to stay in high-end hotels, but you can do it for one night. So Nona and I never have trouble finding a FHR if we're going to a place that has several of them. It's in the 300 to 450 range, and then we got 300 back. That's pretty good, but not if we had to do 2 nights. So, yeah, I'm not a big fan either. Happy Tom. Bop, have you checked out the Bilt travel portal? I've been pleasantly surprised by hotel prices here in Oregon. Yes, I used it. The creator meetup, I only could get 2 nights at the Hyatt. And so the last 2 nights I booked for Nona and I in a hotel, and I got the corner suite. It was $344 total, which blew my mind, in Charleston. And I got $250 for my Bilt Palladium, the hotel credit. And then I used another 50 in Bilt points because I didn't have my status yet, or I would used 100. But I used another 50. It was easy peasy. I mean, smooth sailing. I liked it. And now when you open up the app, it's right there. Your booking's right there under rewards. So it's easy to find. Yeah, I really liked it. EMT says, since City transfers to AA now, I wonder if AA purposefully limiting product changes. That's possible. We don't know what's happening behind the scenes, but something like that definitely could be happening. All right, we got 77 in here now. That's pretty awesome. Let's go to the next one. This was on my video on the Ultimate American Airlines Status Duo, my new card combo. So this is when I'm talking about pairing my AA Executive card and my Globe card, because the AA Executive card gives you two 10,000 loyalty point boosts, one at 50,000 loyalty points, one at 90. And then the Globe card gives you three 5,000 loyalty point boosts when every time you take 4 flight segments that are paid for. So those two things together get you an extra 35,000 loyalty points. So Christian Z said, with the Globe card, if I pay for a round trip for me and my wife, does that count as 4 legs? Well, it does, but it's 4 legs anyway, because it's 4 segments, because unless it's a direct flight. But if you have a layover, then yes, each one of you would have 4 segments as far as the way their rules read. Now, it hasn't worked out in mine because I've done only, I mean, I've been wanting to test it out, and I will in the next few weeks, but I've only done award flights so far since I've had it. So I'll report back how it works once I get going with it. All right, we got Travel Fan 11 says, the way the annual fees are increasing on these premium cards, one has to be more discerning in obtaining the card that is going to make the most sense. It's hard to justify having multiple high-end cards. Yeah, I'm living that nightmare right now. I got a lot of them, and I got to figure out what to trim. But, you know, it's hard because some of them really do pay for themselves if you do it right. So that's the tough thing. Basemo says, thanks for creating these videos and answering questions. You're welcome, Basemo. I thank you for being here. It's you, the community, that makes this possible for all of us that create. Thank you very much. All right, we have 80 people in here now. That's getting on up there. So if you would, please hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't. If you want to drop our super chat, super sticker, however small, that helps the algorithm. And I might just, as long as the number keeps going up, I might just keep going for a few minutes. All right, this one's on my wallet. What's in my wallet, quarter 3. So it's an older video, but I got this comment. Vicky Arnold asked the question, made the statement, you can downgrade the Venture X to the Venture One. Great job on YouTube. Well, thank you, Vicky. That's very nice. But as far as I know that you can downgrade the Venture X to the Venture One, because I was talking about what I was going to do with my Venture X, because I have no use for the thing. But I decided not to cancel it for a couple reasons. Number one, it pays me. I know everybody says it pays you $5. No, it doesn't, because who uses their venture points for 1 cent per point? It pays you more than that. I mean, it does. So it's a net positive return. And I'm talking about with the $300 travel credit and the 10K anniversary points. But the other thing is that it's a one and done thing. If I get rid of our Capital One Venture X, we ain't ever getting it again, ever in eternity, unless somebody buys Capital One, I guess, which ain't likely. So, I mean, we're stuck with the thing. And I don't know what changes. I think it's possible Capital One is going to make some real positive changes because of competition. So I want to be able to have that card, and I know I couldn't get it again. All right. EMT says, thanks again. Also, everybody hit the like button. Yep, we're up to 51 likes, 80 people still watching. Thank you, EMT. Thank you, everybody who's hit the like button. Basemo, going on a family trip to Italy in a couple weeks, and I booked the major leg of our 2-week Hawaii, Japan first trip, first part of the summer. Air France has been my hero. Air France can be great. I've used them quite a few times. They can be great. Last time we flew them was premium economy, and it was a primo experience, $35K in premium economy. It was a primo experience. Robin Hopper, Amex is crazy these days. I've opened 3 business plats in the last 12 months. Last month, got 2 separate business plat offers, mailer for $250, another for $200. In the offers tab in my other business platinum. I know they're doing the same to me. They won't give me a card for my life on the personal side, but man, I've got 2 or 3 mailers right now. I mean, they just keep wanting you on the business side for sure. SCC 30. My strategy is moving towards Citi and Wells Fargo now, with an annual fee being under $200, which is pretty sweet with my grandfather of my Atmos since I got it. I got it before 2023. Oh yeah, that's the one that you don't have to spend the 6K, I don't think, to get the free companion pass, right? Is that what it is? That's awesome. That's awesome. So yeah, I mean, that's definitely, you can have a great setup with Citi and Wells Fargo under $200. Great setup. Ripa, I agree 100% on not downgrading Venture X. I'm hoping Bilt forces Capital One to refresh. Yep. And my good friend Joe, NY Law, gifts one Reward Master membership. Thank you, Joe. And I know whoever receives that gifted membership will thank you as well. SEC, hope I can get the Strata Premier this year so I don't have to transfer at 1 to 0.7. Oh, yeah. No. You don't want those other, if you don't have the Premier or the Elite, you don't want to transfer at those rates. Those are not good rates. Thank you, Joe, he says. Oh, Rip got the channel membership. That's awesome. Capital One gave me an addition, this is Travel Fan 11, channel member. Capital One gave me an additional 200 travel credit retention offer for 2,000 spend in 90 days on the Venture X due to all the changes they made this year. Okay. Well, when ours comes up for renewal, might try that. Good idea. SCC, yep, that's right. And Joe says, enjoy, Ripa, best channel on this space. That is very nice, Joe. Thank you. That means a lot to me. I appreciate it. All right, so let's see if we have any more slides. Yep, got another one on the hotel credits. This is from 10 Points of Adventure. 10 Points of Adventure. I have the Aspire and 2 other lower tiered Hilton cards that I will eventually upgrade. Just got back from Seattle on Sunday and stayed at the Hilton Sound in Belltown with Diamond status. They gave me champagne upon check-in, upgrade to a King Studio. They even had for Teleza tequila, which is really hard to come by in a hotel. The clear credit comes in handy as well as the quarterly airline credit. I haven't used the FNC, but look forward to it. All right. I still would say that the most valuable card overall in my wallet and the most valuable return, and I've been scripting a video these last couple of days on ranking some of these cards based upon how much you get back from them. And the top tier for me is the Aspire card. It's just unbelievable because that free night cert for us is always worth $1,000. And the $600 extra you get back is easy to get back with the resort credits if you travel like Nona and I, and with the airline credit. So yeah, it's just amazing. And then you get the diamond status. And I know people dog on the diamond status, but go overseas, especially to Asia or to Middle East or whatever, and you'll see diamond status, it still matters. Basemo says, smash the like button. Yeah, appreciate that. Ask everybody to do that. We got 54 likes so far. Basemo, did everyone do the extra 95 for each Bilt authorized user or able to use Apple Pay, Google Pay, etc.? I've seen lots of horror stories on Reddit. I don't really use my Apple Pay, Google Pay all that often, so I couldn't tell you on that. And no, I did not do an authorized user on mine. Maybe others did. All right, next slide. Here we go. We're just bumping up over an hour here, but I figure we still got 82 people watching, so we're still high up there, so that's good. Hotel credits still. Sultan NX says Citi Strata Premier gives $100 off minimum, $500, whereas Chase Sapphire Preferred gives $50 off minimum, $50. I have both cards and I've managed to use the 50 often, whereas I've never used the 100 and doubt I ever will. All the more so now, given that I am in the same boat as you with respect to all the hotel credits I'm swimming in. That's a long way of saying that there's no way the Citi Strata Premier is better than the Sapphire Preferred in theory or in practice. At best, it's even, and I'd say it's worse. Okay, I have to humbly acknowledge that I think Sultan caught me in my biases, okay? I do think the Strata Premier is a far better card than the Chase Sapphire Preferred card, but he's right. I ranked the Strata Premier higher in that video than I did the Sapphire Preferred based upon the hotel credit. And he's right. You could use the $50 hotel credit on a $50 hotel. You got to use the $100 credit with the Preferred on a $500 hotel. So, Sultan, I don't think you're in here. I haven't seen you so far, but if you are, if you watch this later, you corrected me. You were right. You called out my bias, and you're correct. You just are. I mean, that is a better credit. Worse card, but better credit. Okay, PMart Supermart says, looking at city travel now, it's usually less expensive than third-party sites. It is, and it's sometimes, it's weird, but in my experience, it's actually on some hotel brands, it's the same price as the hotel brand. Marriott, I have found to be about the same price, so I don't know what that says. Well, y'all, I'm going to, I think, shut things down there because this chair at my kitchen table is kind of killing my back. So I think we've gone well over our hour, but I want to thank everybody for being in here. There's still 71 people in here, and we were up to close to 90 at one point. That's awesome. Joe, NY Law, gifted a Rewards Master membership, also said some very kind things, very appreciative of that. As I scroll back up here, of course, great friend of the channel, Mike Newland, gifted 10 Rewards Master memberships. Big Kurt gave a $2 super chat. And we got a new member in Sultan NX. So all of you who helped to support the channel, I appreciate it. And all of you who watched, I'm so grateful to have you here and just humbled by the fact that you want to hear these things. Thank you so much. I will be back on Sunday with my regular Sunday afternoon live. So I'll be scheduling that soon. And also don't forget the channel memberships. If you're not an RM Insider, look at that. But tomorrow night, I have a special Zoom session with Spreadsheet Warriors. There's still time to get in to the Spreadsheet Warriors before tomorrow night, if anybody wants to upgrade to that. Love to see you there. Take care. See you here next time.